Universidad Nacional Abierta y a Distancia, UNAD, School of Science in Education, Bachelor of Arts in Teaching English as a Foreign Language, English exams, Group 10, Final Exam, Description of the IELTS Test by Andrés Hoyo Rivera, Code 713177273, Tutor Liliana Isabel Moreno, August 2018. Information about the IELTS test. What is the purpose of the exam? IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. This test assesses the English ability of non-native English speakers. IELTS assesses all of your English skills, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and is designed to reflect how you will use English at study, at work, and at play in your new life abroad. What kind of people can take this exam? IELTS is available in two test versions: academic, for people applying for higher education or professional registration, and general training, for those migrating to Australia, Canada, and the UK, or applying for secondary education, training programs, and work experience in an English-speaking environment. Both versions provide a valid and accurate assessment of the four language skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. What is the main goal of the exam? IELTS is the most widely accepted English language test that uses a one-on-one speaking test to assess your English communication skills. This means that you are assessed by having a real-life conversation with a real person. This is the most effective and natural way of testing your English conversation skills. What are the most significant characteristics of the exam? The IELTS test is quite different from other English language tests available. The testing philosophy behind a number of English tests is to show what people know about English rather than show what they can do in English. The assumption is, for instance, that if people know a lot about grammar and have a good vocabulary, they must be able to use English well. Of course, this is not necessarily the case. Many students are extremely good at grammar and have a good range of vocabulary, but they are not very good at communication in the language. Unlike many tests, the IELTS test does not have grammar questions or questions specifically on vocabulary. Instead, the IELTS test has a number of tasks with specific objectives. In the test, your goal is to achieve the objective. This means that you answer questions about a dialogue or a monologue that you listen to. You have to read a number of texts and answer questions based on the texts. You will have to write essays and you will have to speak to a native English speaker. As you can see, the IELTS test is very much a test of what you can do in English rather than what you know. What skills are evaluated through the exam? The IELTS assesses for English skills. There are assessments for the literacy, English skills, reading and writing. And the IELTS also tests your ability in listening and speaking, the conversational English skills. The IELTS tests your English skills with a variety of question types and task types. You'll need to answer multiple choice questions in various formats. There are also short answer questions where you must write in the correct word or phrase. And there are tasks where you will talk to a native or near native English speaker and write essays or letters in English. Give a clear and wide explanation about the type of questions the exam has and what a score is you can get, the lowest score and the highest one. Give an explanation about the possible results. IELTS listening test format. Your listening skills will be tested logically as you demonstrate your ability to understand the speech of native English speakers in this 40-minute exam. Each recording represents a different kind of speech: everyday conversation, monologues that occur in an everyday context, example information, conversations in training, classroom settings, and formal monologues like course lectures. What is IELTS exam content like for the listening test? Each recording has corresponding questions, 40 in total. They may be multiple choice, sentence completion, matching, plan, map, diagram labeling, form, note, table, flowchart, summary completion. IELTS reading test format. The reading section also requires you to correctly answer 40 questions, but this time you'll demonstrate your reading comprehension. What is IELTS exam content like for the reading test? The text types and passage lengths differ from the two versions of the test, but both have the same possible question formats, including multiple choice, matching, sentence completion, summary, note, table, flowchart completion, diagram label completion, short answer questions. IELTS writing test format. What is IELTS exam formatting like for the writing test? The writing portion also varies depending on which version of the test you are taking. In either case, you will have 60 minutes to complete two writing tasks. What is IELTS test content like for academic versus general training writing? What is IELTS test writing like in an academic? In this version, you will be required to show that you can provide a written description of some visual information, no less than 150 words in 20 minutes, and that you can develop your ideas in an essay about a specified topic, no less than 200 words in 40 minutes. Both should demonstrate your ability to use English in an academic or semi-formal tone. And what is IELTS test writing like for general training? The first writing task involves a familiar task, like letter writing, in response to a scenario. You will be given 20 minutes to write about 150 words. The second task is an essay and should be no less than 200 words. You will be given a specific instruction on what to discuss and you will have 40 minutes to do so. IELTS speaking test format. The speaking test lasts only 11-15 minutes and is broken down into three sections. Part 1 involves a general introduction during which you are verbally asked questions that invite you to share a little bit about your life. Part 2 requires that you speak on a topic in what is called the long turn. The topic is given to you in written form. You will be allowed to make and use notes so that your thoughts are organized before you speak. Part 3 involves a discussion in which the examiner will ask several questions to allow you to explore the same topic in a bit deeper or more broadly together. The IELTS scale. So IELTS consists of 9 bands. Here's a description of each band. 0. The skill level: did not attempt the test. Description: the test taker did not answer the questions. Band 1. Non-user: the test taker has no ability to use the language except a few isolated words. Band 2. Intermittent user: the test taker has great difficulty understanding spoken and written English. Band 3. Extremely limited user: the test taker conveys and understands only general meaning in very familiar situations. There are frequent breakdowns in communication. Band 4. Limited user: the test taker's basic competence is limited to familiar situations. They frequently show problems in understanding and expression. They are not able to use complex language. Band 5. Modest user: the test taker has a partial command of the language and copes with overall meaning in most situations. Although they are likely to make many mistakes, they should be able to handle basic communication in their own field. Band 6. Competent user: The test taker has an effective command of the language despite some inaccuracies, inappropriate usage, and misunderstandings. They can use and understand fairly complex language, particularly in familiar situations. Band 7. Good user. The test taker has operational command of the language, though with occasional inaccuracies, inappropriate usage, and misunderstandings in some situations. They generally handle complex language well and understand detailed reasoning. Band A, very good user. The test taker has fully operational command of the language with only occasional and systematic inaccuracies and inappropriate usage. They may misunderstand some things in unfamiliar situations. They handle complex and detailed argumentation well. Band 9. Expert user. The test taker has fully operational command of the language. Their use of English is appropriate, accurate, and fluent, and shows complete understanding. Thank you very much for watching this video. Bye bye.